Well, we don't have any interviews planned for today, but maybe we should bring in our drinking buddy. Do you mind?
Which one are you referring to?
I believe the name was Aspen.
Oh, Aspen from the tavern.
Yes.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. And 3, 2, 1, materialize.
Holy shit.
Hello again.
It's you guys.
You're not on a ship, you're in a cave.
I think she said, holy shit.
Yeah.
As an excrement.
As in God's excrements?
Ooh. Definitely not god excrements.
What shit would be holy?
The Pope's?
You could have holy shits if you wanted.
What is a pope?
Another realm item.
Anyway, welcome back to this realm, Aspen.
Thank you. Nice cave. Good to see you again.
Yes. Figured it'd be nice to have a drink with you and get to know you a little better, since we didn't get to know you all during the festivities at the tavern.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything from the tavern.
It was all the drinks.
Why am I not surprised? But just in case you don't remember our names, I am Rue.
I am Ephraim.
And I'm Ashura.
Alright. Well, I'll try to remember names. If not, I'll just give you nicknames. It works.
Whichever one works. But would you care for a drink? I'm sure we'd get Jeremy to bring you some.
Oh, yes. I love drinks.
Do you prefer wine, rum, or ale?
Probably ale.
Okay. Jeremy, can you get us the good ale? Thank you.
I'm not very into wine because people press it with their feet.
Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they have these weird machines that press it for them. But I still don't understand how those work. I just saw one when I was looking into another world.
That would be better than feet.
Yeah,
I think some people consider feet a delicacy.
like they eat feet, or...
I think that's a different thing you're thinking of, Ephraim. I think that's a different thing.
Okay.
You're reading the wrong books.
Yes. Oh, and here's Jeremy with the ale. Here, let's get some for everyone. And then we can have a little chat. Get to know you better.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, here you go. Here's one for you, Ashura. Here's one for me. And one for you, Ephraim. And yes, Jeremy, you can also have some of the ale. You've been good. Just don't get drunk like last time.
Are they a lightweight?
Yeah, Jeremy doesn't really drink much. But when he does, he gets a little too friendly. He likes hugs a lot.
Good to know.
I don't think we ever really talked about where you're from and everything while we were in the tavern.
Oh, yeah, no, I think the last thing I ever mentioned was my arm. That was about it. Then we got drunk.
A good drunk indeed.
I don't really remember. What did you say about your arm?
It's metal. It has fire.
Oh, yes, it's a magic item.
Mm-hmm.
Can you show us what it does?
Yeah, it shoots fire bolts right out of the middle, so I don't even have to do incantation to cast.
Ooh, that's very fancy and useful.
Oh, yeah. Especially because I like fire, so.
Coming from a plant, this may sound weird, but who doesn't like a good fire every now and then?
People yell at me for liking my fire magic, but it comes in handy.
I guess it would be if you can't breathe fire.
Yes, and a lot of things are flammable.
And how do you go about getting that arm?
A warforged gave it to me after my arm was cut off.
Why was your arm cut off? This is just leading to more questions.
I had a cursed tattoo that kind of like had a charm spell embedded into it, so I was kind of like mind controlled or whatever. And yeah, they thought the only way to get it off was cutting my arm off, so that's what happened.
And who was they?
My dad and some of his buddies.
I think the halflings do some sort of ritual now to remove tattoos, so you don't have to cut off your arm.
Yeah, there's some spells that could have done the trick, but you know what? I don't judge people on how smart they are. No, I do. I'm lying.
You were brainwashed. Who were you brainwashed by? And how?
I grew up in a gang because my father was horrible. He left us, so I went to join the gang, and apparently they didn't like that I left, so they wanted me back.
This is just leading to more and more questions.
Yeah, like, why did I have to cleanse your thoughts?
Because I didn't want to work for them no more, and I knew how bad they were. And I'm technically, I wouldn't say like a hero and stuff. I was with a party, but I was more like I like to steal.
That's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, it is good to steal. It makes you rich.
Jeremy, could you keep an eye on my hoard?
I won't touch your money. I have money now.
Okay.
So I think Jeremy's already a little bit past the tipping point, even though I told him not to.
You know, next time you just need to give him grape juice and say that it's wine.
He had half a drink.
No, he had 3/4 of his drink. It's a medium creature size portion. He is a small creature.
Last time he got drunk, he fell down a mine shaft, and he would have broken his legs if it wasn't for like landing on another kobold.
Oh, I remember that. One moment. I'm going to go take Jeremy and put him in his room. Away from all the mine shafts.
Just need to lock him in the room.
Unfortunately, there's no doors on the rooms, just cage wall.
Yeah, we had to remove all the doors because someone kept leaving them open.
Yes. Now there's a well-oiled machine of a system where we have put, what are they called? Those kind of doors that look like jail cells but are not. I don't want to call them jail cells, but that's basically what they are. But they close automatically. So
Oh, like a gate? No, some gates are
Yes.
automatic.
yes, give me one moment and I'll be right back.
All good.
And while he's doing that, can you tell us a bit more about this gang that you were a part of?
Yeah,
Why did you originally join them?
I originally joined because, well, my father left and my family was killed, so I was just kind of on the run and I didn't have any money. And they seemed nice and offered me work, so I joined. They branded me with a tattoo and I started working for them for a couple years. And then I left. And then they wanted me back.
And you were brainwashed by this tattoo?
Yeah, it had a charm spell embedded into it, apparently.
Was cutting off your arm the thing that allowed you to get away?
Yes and no. My friends kind of like found me and pretended to join the gang, and they didn't get the tattoo on them, so they were able to help me escape.
I think we should get Rue one of these brainwashings because he's got some dirty thoughts.
We all do.
Excuse me, my thoughts aren't dirty. I will have you know I haven't had a dirty thought in quite a while. Also, Jeremy is back in his, for lack of a better word, cell, so sure we should be good and not have to worry about him.
Maybe don't give him alcohol next time.
Well, next time I'm just going to give him a baby cup with alcohol in it. Then he can join in the drinking but not get drunk. I should remember that he cannot handle medium-sized creatures worth of alcohol.
But Aspen, you're quite good at handling your liquor, right?
Yes, I am. I love drinking. Honestly, you have to get used to drinking alcohol because every alcohol is different, like ales or rums and wines. So I usually stick to one, and you drink it for a long period of time, and eventually you build up a tolerance for it.
So practice.
Yes. It's like practicing magic. Practice makes perfect. Just keep drinking.
Keep drinking, 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 just keep drinking.
They had you stealing in this cult, correct?
Yes.
Was it just money, gold, or any artifacts or anything?
Yeah, it was mostly from like rich people, so sometimes I would get like artifacts, sometimes magic items, other times it was just money, gems.
And did they have you do anything specific in order to become a thief?
They had me cut my hair. They dyed it a different color too when I was younger. and I just dressed like a boy.
Why like a boy in specific?
If I cut my hair and stuff, I couldn't be grabbed or taken when I was on the job. So if I messed up a job, I didn't get kind of like in trouble, and they wouldn't get in trouble. And because they felt it was suited that boys could get a little bit more than girls, so they thought, hey, maybe if she turned into a boy, it would work better.
You know, that sounds weird to me because I know for a fact that, at least where I come from, it is easy for younger girls and middle-aged girls to get what they want simply by playing the sympathy card, especially younger ones, because nobody wants to see a child cry.
You're saying the older women don't get any sympathy?
Well, they just don't. Where I come from, they don't usually play it as well. They play the "I want to speak to your boss" card.
Oh, they're just kind of bitchy, yeah. Yeah, no, where I come from, women were meant to like work at home and not do much. Like I went to school and learned magic and stuff because I lived in the small time village, and other people went to school and stuff too. But it's like depending on your class, you could get a good education, or you just kind of start cooking.
Over here, we're sort of for equal opportunities. So it doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl, you can work in the mine.
That is nice. Now growing up, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be a girl, and I'm going to kick ass and steal.
It's very fair.
Kick ass and steal ass?
Yes, I steal ass.
But remind me not to get on your bad side.
Ass is a nice thing to have.
You mean you don't want to get her on your bad side? Because she'll steal it.
Yeah, I'll take all the ass. It will be flat forever.
Don't you take my booty.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
I worked hard for that booty.
Are you sure? Did you work hard enough?
Worked pretty darn hard.
Sit on it every day.
This is getting stupid.
Just start doing some squats. You'll have a bigger butt sooner or later.
Not if you take it all.
That's only if you're rude to me. If I feel threatened, then I will take your butt.
This is going to be the thumbnail, isn't it?
Yes.
God damn. I have a follow-up question to our previous conversation before we started getting on butts.
Fire away.
You said your father left, and that's why you joined the gang. How did you re-find your father, or did they find you and remove the tattoo? Or removed your arm?
I found him. We were in a Medusa lair, and apparently he got turned to stone. And I didn't want him to be unstoned, but someone's like, oh, I'm going to cast this spell, and he became unstoned. And then I punched him in the face.
What were you doing in Medusa's lair? Was it when you were part of the gang, or?
No, this was when I was assigned a job with my party. We were trying to find a princess that got taken, and apparently it led us to a Medusa lair.
And is that how you met your party?
Yeah, we were assigned the job to save the princess, and I just kind of met them, and I was like, ooh, free money, and then I was like, oh, there's people.
I'm assuming you weren't part of the gang when you met your party.
No.
How do you get out?
I ran away one night. It was kind of like middle of the night. I caused a fire at one part of the base, and then I just booked it.
But if you were brainwashed, how did you manage to do that?
Back then, I wasn't. It had the charm on it, but they never used it because apparently I was obedient. But later down the line, they were like, you know, we need to activate this because they're like, they had a bigger plan.
To do what?
Take over the world? World domination.
Oh, passe.
It's classical.
Right? Classic, like, evil people.
It's so overdone, though.
You're telling me.
Not everyone takes over the world.
And not everyone's smart.
Well, yes, but the attempt. But yes. I don't sense any ties to any gods or anything on you, but I might as well ask, did you have any connections to any gods or otherworldly creatures?
Oh, no. I hate gods.
You and me both. Well, there's one god that I don't hate, but that's because I owe them for having all my powers. and they can be a decent person from time to time.
Yeah, I'm so glad my powers didn't come from a god because honestly, I can't tolerate them. Sure, you're allowed to believe in them. It's just respect. I don't believe in them because so many people I know believe in gods.
Yes. Well, it's not so much that I believe in them as that I've met them on multiple occasions, and so there's no way that I cannot deny them. Plus, they directly gave me my powers, so
Ah,
I owe them a lot.
yeah.
Why do you hate God so much?
Because everyone uses the phrase like it was in their will for things to happen. Well, I don't think I like that they had my family killed and my arm cut off in this horrible adventure that I've been on in life.
That is very fair. And I think people like to use gods as a scapegoat way too much.
Gods don't dictate everything, but obviously, like, you're allowed to believe.
Yes, you can believe what you want, but you really shouldn't put God's words as yours.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a question that I hope it's not too personal, but do you have any relationships that you've been in?
Yes, actually,
And have you been in many?
I have not been in many because I lived such a weird life, weird traumatic life. But no, I have somebody now.
Hmm. Do you mind telling us a bit about them? Or?
Yes, now that I live in technically a palace now as a royal advisor, she was my personal bodyguard. Her name was Sir Gwen. She's a knight. She was assigned Aspen duty, which my friend likes to call keep her out of trouble. So she was watching me, and we just kind of connected. So now we've been together for a few years, and I hope to propose soon.
Oh, well, that's very sweet, and I think that's a good idea to keep them close and keep them dear, because sometimes relationships don't go how you expect them to go if you take it for granted.
Definitely right there. Gotta live every moment till it lasts, and you know what? I'm gonna make it last because she's put up with a lot of my bullshit.
Do you know what happened to the rest of your party members?
Yes, I do. Milo, our ranger and stuff, went back home after our quest to kind of like gain back his home. There was a tiny little village that kind of like, during all of our missions in trouble, got into trouble. That's why he was with the party. But he went to go get that back. Valaria and Airless now rule. Well, Airless rules a new kingdom, which I work for her, and Valaria is like her second in command of like the military. So now Valaria runs the military in our new kingdom, which is it's named Faldarin, and then Airless is the ruler, and then Moss and Twig. Jesus Christ, those two. They are the alchemists of the kingdom.
What does an alchemist do?
They learn magic scrolls or they make potions and stuff, and they just experiment with everything magical. It doesn't turn out well.
Sometimes or all the time?
All the time.
Well, if it doesn't turn out well all the time, then why is it allowed to continue?
Because we like to call it experimentation, and we love Moss and Twig too much. They're young. They're not young, but for a gnome and the goblin, they're pretty young, and they just, you know what, we just let them have fun because the room they're in can't be destroyed. Sure, they just drink random potions at times and end up flying for 10 minutes or end up on the floor.
I mean, that's one way to experiment with magic.
It is. Like, just experiment on yourself, and that's what they chose to do.
Not the first time I've seen it done, but I won't be the last.
No.
But can you tell us some of the more memorable moments you've had on your journeys? Obviously, other than your arm.
Yes, I do. I actually have some funny memories that are actually nice memories with my party and not traumatic ones. So when we were heading into the Medusa lair, I decided it would be funny to check things out and not have my party know where I was going. So when we were walking around, I did find a ring of invisibility, and I just kept it in my pocket. And as I was exploring, I fell down a hole and I started screaming. And then my party came after me and they couldn't find me, so they thought I was dead. I put the ring of invisibility on and I scared them from behind. It was quite hilarious.
Very nice.
Sound hilarious. That also sounds somewhat cruel.
I was young when I pulled that on them, and that was when we were first starting adventuring, so they really didn't know me. But I thought it was hilarious as shit.
I mean, a good prank every now and then is always good for the soul.
No, it is. It is. You gotta keep your sanity up when you're traveling.
Agreed. I gotta keep my sanity up with these two from time to time.
See, now you just need to pull a prank on them.
Oh, that's in the making.
You guys better be wary of him.
Maybe I could ask you for help sometime.
I'd be happy to help. I can be a pranking buddy and a drinking buddy now.
Of course.
Pranking, buddy.
Yes, I like to pull pranks. I'm like a little trickster.
And what about the most epic moments you've had on your journeys?
A lot of our epic moments would be a lot of our fighting, because we fought some crazy fucking monsters. I think we fought a, rock giant one time, and Valaria took that thing out by herself, while the rest of us were kind of fighting some, undead, herd. Necromancers, I swear to God.
How do you defeat them?
I just swing my sword or cast my magic. I do, a lot of fire. Another fight we had was when after I was brainwashed by the cult and had my metal arm. It was kind of like a final, boss fight against the changeling that kind of, took me back to the cult. We were in one of the 9 hells, and he opened a portal and was starting to summon, demons and stuff into the world. And as he was doing that, he summoned a fallen angel to keep, guard of him. So my friends decided they were going to handle the fallen angel and let me take on the changeling. And in the middle of the fight, the fallen angel's sword had been thrown across the room, and me and this changeling were on a one-on-one battle. And I ran up, grabbing the sword, pushed myself off the wall, and kind of backflipped down and cut him in half. It was kind of cool.
Kind of. That sounds awesome.
Oh yeah. Sadly, I didn't get to keep the sword. The angel wanted it back and fled.
Pansy angel.
Mm-hmm. Stupid angel.
Angels always ruin the fun.
They do. And most monsters ruin the fun because they just kind of leave in the middle of the fight when they know they're losing.
Some monsters like to stick with it to the end, but yes, for the most part,
Yes.
they'll flee. That's why you get somebody to cast a spell that makes them stay where they are, and then you beat the shit out of them. Done that a few times.
Ephraim, I swear to God.
If my tattoo would still be on it, had a magic spell on it that it could be used, but I don't have it no more.
Ah.
Well, I had a spell on me, and there was a spell I could cast from it. It was basically, I could grapple people with it.
Grapple people with a spell.
Yeah, the tattoo had, the ink would come off as tentacles, and it would wrap around somebody who's 15 feet away from me. It just grapples them and it squeezes them a little.
That sounds rather... I was going to say pleasant.
You sound like a kinky bastard!
I never said I wasn't.
I'm gonna take your butt for this.
What was one of your more embarrassing moments in your questing? We've talked about epic. We gotta bring it back with some embarrassing as well.
Let me think. I had a few of them, but there's one that's truly, truly memorable. It was actually when I was exploring a cave with some villain friend of mine when I was getting brainwashed and I kind of left my party. We were in a cave following a tunnel dug by a giant worm. And we were trying to find a secret room, and there was a lever. So I pulled the lever. It didn't work, so I was just kind of bopping it, twisting it, pulling it, then trying to get this fucking door to open.
You eventually get it to open.
My friend had to open it.
Yep. Sometimes you just have to try everything, and then still someone comes and does just the right thing that you were thinking of doing.
Yes. I almost had it, and he just stepped in and opened the door. I was like, I had that.
That's pretty rude.
He was an ass.
Did you steal it?
I did steal his ass.
I knew that's where you were going.
I had to. It was there.
I kick names and take ass, and I took his ass.
I'm curious how one kicks a name, but, well,
Shut up, or I'll kick your name.
you could try.
Fight, 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 fight.
Yes.
I proved the other day that I can best our friend Ephraim here in a one-on-one magic duel, but he's more physically strong than me, so could go either way.
Yeah, no, I'm not that physically strong. The arm helps, but I'm more magic. I like magic.
I mean, magic is always useful.
It is indeed. Though it might be cheating that I have access to magics that I shouldn't really be able to use with my upbringing and training.
You know what? It's not cheating. Technically, you just have an advantage.
I suppose that's true.
What would you say is your favorite spell to use?
Fireball,
Fireball?
always.
It's always Fireball. Fireball is the answer to everything.
Yes, or if you use Wall of Fire and then you cast like wind on it, it turns into like a fire tornado.
It sounds like fun.
I'm quite fond of the spell Synaptic Static myself. It's kind of like a psychic fireball.
Damn, that's kind of cool. I don't deal a lot of psychic damage. I do fire. I do a lot of like illusionary magic, or I think I do quite a little of ice and water.
And do you have any weapons that you use?
Mainly a longsword. As an elf, I like my longswords and my bows. But I don't have a bow on me because that shit hurts my fingers.
Even your robotic ones?
Well, I can't feel anything in those ones, and I've never used a bow since then. I just use my sword because I like to slam it into people.
Ah, fair. Like a bat to a baseball.
Yes, exactly. Like, you just pull out your sword and then you just ram it into somebody's chest.
I don't know what a baseball is, but I have a feeling that's not quite how that works.
It's a wood stick that you beat people with, but it's like a more well-formed stick.
What do you see yourself doing in the future?
Well, besides getting married to Gwen, I think I might continue adventuring. As a royal advisor, I sure have some duties, but I want to keep exploring. Maybe help people if I can.
Always a good goal to pursue.
Oh, yes. After everything people go through, you learn life lessons, and you know what? You decide your future after going through experiences.
I believe that is all the time we have for today.
Well, that is okay.
We appreciate you joining us, and we look forward to seeing you at the tavern again.
Of course, I will be always at the next tavern if I am allowed to drink. And if you guys ever need another drinking buddy, or pulling pranks, or taking people's asses, I am here.
Absolutely, and until we see you again, have a good awakening.
And have a good week.